Rahmah and compassion. We talk about Allah, the Rahman, or Allah is Rahman and Rahim, and etc. So there's a higher level of Rahmah and there's a lower level of Rahmah. The lower level of Rahmah everybody relates to, that a mother has love and compassion for the child. Okay, that's the lower level, which is the common understanding of the word Rahmah. But there's a much higher level of Rahmah, which is Allah's devotion to educating, informing human beings of realities, of haqa'iq, that Allah's tawajjuh on His khalq is that Allah wants His khalq to be able to understand all the divine mysteries, all the divine realities and knowledge, basically. So Allah's rahmah dawns upon human beings when He gives the human being to understand true knowledge, and that is called Allah's fadl. وَكَانَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكَ عَظِيمًا. Okay? So we mustn't confuse it with secular rahmah. Oh, this is rahmah, this is rahmah. It is, that's also rahmah, but it's the most diluted form of rahmah, which the ulama don't even consider. Okay? The higher level of rahmah, which this surah is expressing, is Allah's now grace and Allah's lutf and Allah's compassion in informing human beings and allowing human beings to understand Him, to recognize who He is and to see Him in all of His creation. That is Allah's rahmah. Okay. If you stick it in the mundane, then it becomes messy. Then it is not the pure Islamic view of what Allah's rahmah is, as you'll see right here from the get-go. So Allah is Ar-Rahman. Okay. The Quraysh didn't know who the Rahman is. They never heard of the word Rahman in their language. The Quran came for the first time and taught them that Rahman is from the word Rahmah. And then the Quran coined the phrase in this sigha, in this form, to show them the Quran's inimitability and the Quran's ability to bring down reality in words they've never heard of. But it's their language, which is what frustrated them. Is that now the, what you call it, the challenge, the tahaddi, was for the Quraysh to bring something similar like the Quran in verbiage, which they were never able to do. So this now, Allah is now responding to that question also. Who is the Rahman? So Allah here explains to us who He is. So who is Allah? Or who is the Rahman? Rahman, as you know, theologically is synonymous with Allah, the name Allah. قُلِ ادْعُوا اللَّهَ أَوْ ادْعُوا الرَّحْمَنَ. Say Allah or say Rahman, doesn't matter whichever one you speak, then He has the most beautiful names and so on. But anyway, this is Ar-Rahman. Who is Ar-Rahman? Ar-Rahman, the Rahman. That's one ayah. Okay, there's no khabar there. Okay, there's no predicate there. Just Ar-Rahman. Okay, what about the Rahman? Well, let us tell you who the Rahman is. Allama al-Quran, the greatest gift and the greatest manifestation of Allah's Rahmah is what? Allama al-Quran. Teaching the Quran. Teaching in general is a sign of immense compassion. A mother can't show compassion the way a teacher shows compassion in teaching. Okay, that is how this Rahman is. Allah, what does He do? He teaches. He teaches what? The best. What is the best? Al-Quran. There's no greater knowledge or source of knowledge than the Quran. So what does Allah do to show His compassion and to show His Rahmah? He teaches the Quran. So that is the highest form of ibadah and the highest form of rahmah you can acquire from Allah Himself. There's no better form of rahmah than to know the Quran, to understand it, to teach it. as the Prophet ﷺ said, خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنَ وَعَلَّمَهُ. The best of you are those who learn the Quran and then teach it. The best of you, meaning that you'll have doctors who save your lives, and you have engineers and IT people who will take you to Jupiter and Pluto, and you'll have engineers who will build you great things, and you'll have people who give you food. But there's no greater service in Islam, even according to this ayah, than to understand, number one, and then teach the Quran. That is the prophetic model. That is how the civilization of ilm is created, through these words and these inspirations that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. Allama al-Quran. Allama is the process by which now you're going to share your knowledge with someone else. Sharing is caring. So knowledge is now supreme. Teaching is supreme. It's a divine act. Teaching is what? A divine act. And what are you teaching? The divine word. So the divine teaches the divine word. What is the divine word? The divine word is creative. It is eternal. It creates. Okay. When you know a word of the Quran and you understand it, it will create knowledge in you. Just by knowing the word, you'll develop a sense of creativity. And that is now, every mufassir will testify to that. Every time they read an ayah of the Quran, more knowledge comes to them, inspirationally and also intuitively, where you don't need a teacher. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَيُعَلِّمُكُمُ اللَّهُ. Allah now becomes your teacher. Through your mind, through your aql, and through your honesty and sincerity and your taqwa,